Only angels have wings. Fabulous. A classic. In fact, films, works of art, should be inspirational, should offer us role models, not as Superman, Spider-Man flying through the sky, but as humans with courage, with valor, resilience, loyalty, character strengths. And by the way, you find where you stand if you look on the net for character strengths. Martin Seligman or positive psychology, or there is a list, and there's more or less a test you can take. We also have human frailty and redemption. There is a man who had been a coward, but then he finds a way to come back again, to come near self-sacrifice. But we'll get to that. So we have this remote South African port. And to look at the description here, the manager of an air freight company is forced to risk his pilots' lives in order to win an important contract. A shore girl comes to town, and that's Jean Arthur, Bonnie Lee. These were megastars. These were DiCaprio's, Brad Pitt's, almost 100 years ago. So the manager is Jeff Carter, Cary Grant. What a gentleman. Senior, noble fellow. Here he has to be rough. So when this Bonnie Lee comes, she gets friendly with two pilots. Only one of them dies very quickly. They die because they have to fly in those machines of the pioneering days, which were dangerous, really, and in all weather. It was a storm. They didn't really have an airport. It was just a rough terrain. It wasn't really. I mean, they tried to arrange it, but it had water holes and so on, especially during the storm. Many moments of tension. It's approaching. He cannot see. They don't have the lights that make it clear for pilots as they approach, weather permitting. It's also true if it's fall. But now they have instruments on board, which they can use to help them. And it's not 100% sure. Last week, Japan Airlines, I think, crashed into a Japanese Air Force plane, which came onto the runway without waiting for the approval. Some things went wrong. So it happens today, alas. But then it was much more okay. So Bonnie Lee is upset, but and angry somehow with Jeff, with the manager, because he has to risk, as we said, lives of pilots. But there's no other way. That's what they do. That's they have a life dedicated to that, and so that's the way it is. Later on, we have Rita Hayworth coming. She's Judy McPherson. In the past, she was the lover of Jeff, but she couldn't stand it. This tension, this not knowing if he will survive when he lands in these terrible conditions. So she wanted him to stop, and he couldn't, because that's also conflict. There's so much in here, really, conflict between passion and the mind, between what the mind tells you to do and what your passion, rationality, and impulse, and so on. So Jeff has to continue. That's who he is, and so Judy leaves him, breaking his heart, so to say, and marries who? Another pilot. And this other pilot comes here with a story, with a lot of baggage and hatred from other pilots and those who would be supposed to work with it, because during the flight, the plane caught fire. It was in not just in jeopardy, it's true. Yeah, and he left his mechanic. I mean, he ejected himself, survived, but the mechanic who was with him in the plane died. So for everybody, it looked like to save yourself, you abandon your mate. So that's those on the ground here rejecting. But because there's pressure, because there's a very dangerous mission to bring a miner who is injured in a very remote place where it's almost impossible to land. The manager says, okay, will you take this? And then we talk about it. If he accepts, gives him a job. And indeed, Judy's husband says yes. He maneuvers in outrageous conditions, landing on the side of a mountain, more or less. Comes back safe with more luggage and with more weight than, and so he is accepted on condition he will take missions like this. I mean, kamikaze. Will you take this? I guess I have to. But then he will redeem himself. Let's just say that. Spoiler, not the details, but so we have a love triangle, more or less. Maybe Jeff can find some solace with Bonnie, but then there's the same challenges. Will he risk his life? Extraordinary film, let's just say that.